Welcome in everybody to another football show with Name. I'm back, your host Clint, or as always, you can call me Champ. Here with Big Jeff and Miss Lauren. So we're gonna try this thing where we have Lauren on all the time. She was great last week. She knows her shit, and she adds depth to the show because good Lord knows it. We need it.
Damn it!
How are you? Let's start with Miss Lauren. How are you, Lauren?
I'm doing well. I did surprisingly well last weekend for having the worst year that I've had in a decade, but not too bad. Not too bad.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad to have you. It's good to see Big Mr. Ferg. What's happening, brother? How's
Ain't
things?
shit. I'm just here, filling out the minority quotient of the show.
Yeah.
Just doing what I got to do.
Yeah, I mean, we did interview a couple of other guys before you, but we did settle on you, right? So that was the good thing. So we filled our quota of interviews as well. So
I know some people.
Roger Goodell can stay off our backs. All right. Well, welcome in everybody. Let's all just give applause for Dan Campbell and the Lions. I mean, good gracious.
Done, guys. Well done.
Finally.
Lions to the playoffs.
Up and get a break. They did not. We'll talk about that in a little while. They did not lions, if we're using it as a verb. They didn't figure out a way to lose the game, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They actually figure out a way to win the game, and somehow, some way, we must be living in an alternate universe because Jared Goff was the NFC Player of the Week. And that's probably just because they won. So, I mean, poor Vikings. You got to feel bad for them. At least it was in Detroit. So I will say that. So any thoughts about that game, you guys?
I love Dan Campbell.
I feel like he was just trying not to be humiliated. I knew they're going to get one this year. So at some point it had to happen. So it's just like, I don't think Jared Goff wanted to go into the offseason with a goose egg. It was luck.
Gosh.
They had Pittsburgh.
Jared Goff could even.
Right? Is it Pittsburgh? They had them
Yeah.
beat. They had several teams up against
Overtime.
the corner in the fourth quarter. So
I don't understand that guy almost won a Super Bowl. Well, he went to a Super Bowl. I never understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Donald.
Well, it took Justin Tucker in a 36-yard field goal to beat them a few weeks back. So, I mean, things were going very, very wrong for the Lions. Something just happened, and the universe aligned correctly for them to have something go very right for them. So there, it was a. So Jared Goff was great. 269. The guy was solid, right? And I mean, he had what 33 fantasy points, I think is what he ended up with. Well, that's just one league that I'm looking at. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, 86 yards, touchdown. Kid had a good game. I think it was 8 catches, if I'm not mistaken. Jamal Williams, pretty sedentary game, 72 yards, I think, on the ground, a couple of receptions. But other than that, there really wasn't too much on the Lions side. Hawkinson had a good game. 3 for 35 and a touch. He had 12 points.
You should pick up all the Lions and start them in every league that I'm in with you. That's what you should do.
In every league
every league that we're in together, you should pick up all of the Lions and play them. That's
I have Jamal Williams in a couple of leagues that I'm in with you, but you are in first in 13 as of this month.
In one.
Everybody's in chasing you for it. So, that's a good one to win, bro. That's a good one to win. To win. So, all right. So let's talk about the other side of the ball since we were talking about the Lions and Vikings. Justin Jefferson. Wow. What a game this kid had. He had 185 or 186 and a touch. I mean, he has 1,200 yards this year already. And people were wondering if he could recapture the stuff from last year, and no sophomore slump for Mr. Jefferson, so he was good to go there. And Kirk Cousins. Any of you guys have Kirk Cousins
I picked him up for this week.
in any of your leagues?
I picked him up.
I'm gonna sit here and tell you, to replace Burrow. I mean, hell yeah. I don't. How was he? He was on Everwire.
Yeah, well, it's an 18
Wow,
league, but
that's
yeah.
incredible. Oh, okay. That makes way more sense. So this dude has 23 touchdowns or 25 touchdowns and 3 picks this year. I mean, he just continues to produce for fantasy another 41-point game, even in a loss to the Lions. Did any of you guys benefit from any of the Vikings all last weekend?
I did not. Well, I take that back. I have Madison.
Because Madison
I
had
have
a good
Madison
game.
in a couple of leagues.
He had a good game.
I still lost the game that I had Madison, but that's because I started 3 players on Monday night, and they think they all combined for like 3 points between all 3 guys. So,
But yeah, I think
I kind of got shitty.
That, yeah. Ferg, I got a vent about Hoofnagel real quick.
Oh shit.
Everything fantastic. I had Taysom Hill. He got me 32 points. I had Chris Godwin, who had a Bucks record 15 catches, 23 points. So check this out. Listen to Taysom Hill, Chris Godwin. Everything's great. Jamar Chase, Jamal Wood, Ty Johnson. You guys up this week. Mark Andrews, Darnell Mooney. Nobody above 7.7 points. And yet, because of the New England defense, I almost won.
My team sucked.
I lost down to 3rd, so I'm 8-5. I think you're pretty much done in this league, right? You're 5-8.
I'm not done. I am in spot number 7 with this week's game to go to try to creep into our 6th playoff spot. As I am in a league that I also playing with Lauren, I am in another spot number 7 after a terrible year with no running backs, no nothing. This will be, well, if we get lucky, if the fantasy gods love us, if Darren Waller can somehow piece his leg together and come out there, I think this will be the first week that I ever had Mahomes, Kamara, and Waller, and then whoever else I traded for all together for one game, one shot to get into the playoffs next week. So who fucking knows? I don't expect it. I expect my Dolphins to win Sunday, so the Dolphins can't win, and my fantasy teams win on Sunday. So it's one or the other. Which one do I want? This week I'll take fantasy.
So I have a question, Lauren. This is gonna be more directed towards you. I have to play Taysom Hill against the Jets or Aaron Rodgers Bears, who we all know he owns.
I was gonna say he owns them. I don't know. See,
so what are your thoughts on that?
This is my thing with Taysom. This is how I knew last week he was going to do what he did. So Taysom going into the Superdome to me is like, because he's fan favorite. I mean, I'm the founder of the Gay Women for Taysom Hill fan club. Like we all love him. Huge. He walks in and it's like Russell Crowe up in Gladiator, like, are you not entertained? So like, I knew he was going to do that. I knew it. But I'd say him going away though, I don't. Who's he throwing to? Callaway? I mean, yeah, if he runs, but I just always worry that like I'm terrified he's going to get hurt.
Talked about
first round.
Yeah, no, and I can see that because of the member issue already. He's practiced all right. So the reports out of New Orleans that he's practiced all week. So we talked about this a little bit off air. He had 4 picks, two touchdowns through the 800 yards on the ground. And so he's the cheat code for fantasy quarterbacks. He's like Kyler Murray, because what was Kyler Murray? 11 for 15 for like 112 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground, and like 70 yards rushing. right? And he was one of the fantasy leaders. I think he was a QB1 last week. So I mean, it's like, yes, he doesn't have anybody to throw to. Kamara's coming back, so he'll definitely have Kamara to throw to out of the backfield, but doesn't matter if he doesn't have anybody really
on his run time though,
because
he's got Kamara's not running.
I mean, I don't know because he's played with Kamara before, right? So, but what Kamara is doing is I don't think, and I guess I think I need to check this. Maybe I don't think he caught a pass. I think he had like one reception through like 3 games with Till as a starter last year.
Kamara's,
and
Jeff,
Taysom started to throw
Kamara's
to
numbers go down.
Yeah, that's the problem with Hill.
Right.
Kamara doesn't get any catches.
Maybe Kamara will run more. So maybe Kamara will run more, but let me reiterate something that we were texting about earlier, Lauren. Jets give up 35.8 fantasy points to running backs every week on average. That is an exorbitant amount of points. Right? So is there enough to go between Kamara, who's coming off injury, and Taysom Hill, who has to throw to, so he's going to be running more. So is there enough for Taysom and Kamara to both get theirs, I guess?
I mean, I don't think they're going to want to lose their 6th game in a row if Sean Payton's not going to. Rodgers is playing in Chicago?
No, they're in
Chicago.
That's Green Bay. And that's a Green Bay game. I thought it was a Green Bay game.
It's at home. It's at home. Yeah.
Yes, Green Bay game Sunday night, 8:20.
I feel like any week you think he's going to throw is when he runs
and it's prime time Rodgers.
With Justin Fields playing.
I see where you're going with this, and I think Taysom's more fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I had Taysom up earlier today. Then somebody convinced me to change it to Rodgers. So now Rodgers is in my lineup as of right now. And I don't think you guys don't have the Thursday night game, so you don't have to worry about that. So I guess I can just hold off on it, and maybe we can talk a little more about it. You can give me some insights from your New Orleans boys if you hear them throughout the week.
Yeah.
Anybody else you guys want to talk about fantasy last week? Jonathan Taylor did his thing as always, 146 and 2 touchdowns. We already talked about Kirk Cousins. Elijah Moore continues to be, heavily, even though Zach Wilson was his freaking quarterback. To get 20-some points. So anybody else you guys want to talk about? Who won you guys your week last week?
Not Boston Scott.
Not his sorry ass.
No,
not his sorry ass. I won despite him scoring 0 points.
I get that. So let me start it off while Lauren's looking, because it looks like Lauren's looking for her lineup. Let me tell you somebody that I sneakily got off the waiver wire and happened to work out really well for me was Sony Michelle.
Oh, yeah, I did pick him up. Yep.
Sony Michelle. Yeah, ended up with 23 last week. So it was good for my soul because I was playing against the guy that had dropped Sony a few weeks prior.
Nice.
So that was very nice. Very, very nice to do. Yeah. Yeah. So what about you guys?
I got one for you. Let's I tell you what we'll do for you. For 2 seconds, we're gonna close the stat book that Matthew Berry and all of them are gonna give us all week anyway. Lauren is our resident Belichick guy. Tell us the secret on how they fuck Belichick and them won a game, throwing the ball 3 times. The floor is yours. Let us hear it.
All right. So I love you too, Aiden.
Watchman in the arena, brother.
40 minutes to get Taysom off the waiver wire before I come pick him up. That's my nephew. We have a family league. He's been playing since he was 5.
Raised right. He's raised right.
I thought that was just genius that he ran the ball the whole time. It's like, keep the Bills off the field. Like, I said he was gonna win, but I had when I saw that dude threw 3, I just like it made my heart swell.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that. I know everyone hates. I love Bill. Love him.
Yeah.
Grew up down the road from me. Such a good, and the fact that he
I
went
love
for
Bill
2.
Belichick.
Oh, he was for 2, and I'm like, John Harbaugh, are you watching this? Are you watching how you run this play? Because that's what you do, my friend. That was just awesome. Keep him off the field and run. That was genius. He's like the best at managing clocks.
They had
Absolutely.
35 straight run plays at one point.
That was
35.
so awesome.
That's
so as we
insanity.
watch them run the ball for 45, so let's so we know how it ended. Jump in and tell us about what happened at this press conference. I saw the end vaguely on Twitter for like 2 seconds with Poyer and them, and I really didn't think that the question was out of line because basically they did run the ball down your fucking ass 45 times. You knew they were running the fucking ball, so why are you upset that he asked you why we couldn't stop the run?
I think it was the way he asked.
No, okay. Let me start this off, Lauren. So this went way beyond that, Ferg. If you didn't watch it, you didn't hear the question. The question was not why you couldn't stop them from running. The question was, are you right? So a couple of things. These guys get paid millions of dollars to stop them on defense, but the guys on the other side of the ball also get paid millions of dollars. Okay, so let's start there. Now, yes, they gave up 220 yards on the ground. But these ball 42 times. Okay, so let's not. We've seen AP have less carries and more yards in a single game. Okay, so let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. You're not. These dudes scored 14 points, man. I think that Micah Hyde had every right to be upset at that question. Like every right. And I hope that the Bills as a team collective don't answer any more of that douchebag's questions. Like, bro, you don't do anything but write about this shit. Are we embarrassed that we lost? Are we embarrassed with the way we lost? No, we lost 4-7, bro.
So I don't know if it's the 14 points, but okay, I'm aging myself here for a second. Do you remember when we used to play Tecmo Bowl and you would call the exact same play as the other dude? And Christian Okoye would get stuffed like 12 yards in the fucking backfield. If you fucking know that we're running the ball, it's 100-degree weather out here. The kicker missed a 30-yard field goal by 20 yards. You already know they're running the ball. How is there not 10 men in the block, one safety behind, and stop the run? I thought it was a fair question, actually. I mean, since we're going to be officially on the other side and be media members now, I thought it was a fair question.
Dude, they had 10 men in the box. They had 9 men in the box. They blitzed. They played zone for some reason a couple of plays when they thought he might be throwing. But like for most of the time, they played man with whatever receiver sets most of the night. And dude, they were just handing the ball off to Damian Harris and Ramondre, and they were just the offensive line was just winning the battle, man. I mean, that's just football, right? The offensive line loves it. So from what I understand as an offensive lineman, you get stronger as the game goes on if you keep running the ball because you love that shit. Right? Right. So Lauren, have you heard anything different from like the Patriots camp about what they're saying about that press conference and that question? Have you looked into it anymore?
I didn't look into the Patriots side of it. I mean, I'm sure they don't. I lived in Boston for a couple of years. I'm sure it's nothing nice, but I mean, I guess like you could use the word. I mean, I would be somewhat embarrassed. Like Bill Belichick has owned them since 1999, and they had like
pretty much
2 games off, and it's like, guys, like he's coming in with this kid that's brand new that throws 3 times, and y'all can't do anything. You're supposed to be like this amazing defense. You're supposed to be the new kings of the AFC East, and they're not doing it. And I would be a bold prediction: Pats go to the Super Bowl.
We're taking Pats.
Oh yeah.
Let's just don't jump past that.
I've already
jump past that. We're gonna go Pats.
It's Brady versus Bill Super Bowl.
So that's really the thing.
So,
we're really gonna go with that.
Yes. Oh, I'm 100%. We've had my boy Ryan on here before, who is our resident Pats fan. So you guys need to talk. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
said, I talked to him about this the other day. He said, I will lock myself in the house and I will not come out regardless of the outcome, is what he said. And so, like, he's not talking to anybody. He's shutting off his phone. Like, if that's the Super Bowl, he is not going to be in place. So I'm looking forward to that, actually.
We got to do like Shannon and Skip. I think we got to put some cases. Got to put some cases of due on that one right there. The Pats Super Bowl. That's what we're really gonna go.
I saw a thing today. Yeah. I was out for work, and it was saying who does the ring mean more to, Tom or Bill?
Tom.
You think so? I want to say Bill.
If it's Tom versus Bill, well, if it's Tom versus Bill, I'd say Tom. In that case.
I could be wrong on my school, but can somebody name me a Alabama quarterback that's been to the Super Bowl in the last 30 years? 40?
Aiden, that's on you. You should know that one.
Is it? I might be wrong on the school. Is it Plunkett or Stabler or somebody like that? Is that the last Joe Namath? Is that the last Bama quarterback that made it to the Super Bowl? I have no faith in Bama quarterbacks, just like USC quarterbacks. So I wouldn't.
But see, okay, so here's the thing, though.
So, Bill yet.
Well, Trent Dilfer has a Super Bowl.
Trent Dilfer didn't go to Bama, though.
Brad Johnson has a Super Bowl. No, but
Bama quarterback.
Johnson has.
Well, Trent Dilfer
I
also
understand
had
that, but
the killer. They also had Killer Ray Lewis playing middle linebacker. So that's a whole nother
MVP that year.
So they won games where they didn't even score touchdowns that year. So
yeah.
I'm not putting no money on it. I'll take that bet that the Pats don't make the Super Bowl.
Who do they have to go against, though?
Really?
Again, until I see
Kansas City,
as we call them, until I see somebody eliminate the biracial messiah, the new Derek Jeter. Until I see somebody send him home, I'm still going to bet Kansas City in the playoffs.
It's like you're not. It doesn't matter if Mac Jones. Take Mac Jones out of the equation. Like, he threw 3 passes.
I can't.
It's Bill. It's Bill that you're playing against.
I cannot. If you gave me Bill and every great legend that played for the Patriots in the last 15 years, and you told me a Bama quarterback or a USC quarterback was on that team, then I would say they wouldn't win. Castle went to USC, they didn't win it.
No, but they went 11-5.
But they didn't win. I said Super Bowl. Carson Palmer was good. He was a USC quarterback.
You're taking Matt Castle, and they didn't go to the playoffs that year. Is that strange year where like teams under 500 went, but then the 11-5 guys in the AFC didn't go?
That's because the Dolphins won that division. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But Alabama, USC, doesn't happen. Somebody give me one. Anyone. Yeah. Rodney Peete, Reinert, Palmer.
I'm looking. 3 former Alabama quarterbacks won Super Bowls.
Okay, who is that?
Let's see.
Plunkett.
I'm looking.
Stabler.
Ian said Plunkett was Stanford.
Okay, I said I was wrong. I said it was one of them, but it's somebody way back.
Ian, you're like a dictionary of football, or not dictionary, like a encyclopedia. I love it.
What's that name?
Props to the commish.
What was that guy that used to have that ESPN show that had like the answers to all the questions? Try to stump. What was his name? Stump the something or something. That should be Ian. Yeah, he knows everything. While you look that up.
Oh, hold on a second. So Bart Starr was the starter and MVP of the first 2 Super Bowls at the end of the 66 and 67 seasons, though they weren't called Super Bowls until 7 years later. And Joe Namath was MVP of the 3rd game at the end of the 68 season. Bama's 3rd winning and starting quarterback was Ken Stabler.
So the last time a Bama quarterback
it was
went to the Super Bowl, we did
Bart Starr,
black and white TV.
It was Bart Namath. So Bart Starr, Joe Namath, and Ken Stabler. That's the end of the list. I mean,
I was 2/3 right. So like I said, Alabama quarterback. You take Mac Jones and his Mac 10 trademark and all of that.
All right, what's that?
And just go ahead and scratch the Pats off.
Shine even on a dog's ass once in a while, or some stupid cliche. Yeah. So it's not
sure. Yeah,
you could put like a one-armed like the drummer from Def Leppard in there with his one arm, and Bill would take him to the Super Bowl. Like I'm throwing down. Pats are going.
Not gonna happen.
I'm telling you.
Okay, how about we?
Lauren, I'm
bet?
with
I'll
you.
bet
Jeff is a
your-
hater.
Yeah, you're a Bill
Okay.
hater, Jeff.
Okay, so we've discussed this off
He
camera
is.
that this show is going to have a league next year. We are actively looking for several other players. We already know of about 5 that are going to play. I will bet my first round pick against your first round pick that the Pats do not make the Super Bowl
I
next
say
year.
we gotta do. I think it's more like an embarrassing thing. I was gonna say, like, if they don't go, I'll grab a guitar and play a song of your choice, and you get to come on and sing a song of my choice in a dress.
Why gotta be the dress though?
Oh shit, a dress.
I like it.
Hold on a second. You just took it up a level.
Yeah,
You just took it up a level.
it's got to be like
about-
super, you got to take it like super embarrassing.
What about a jersey swap here? What about a jersey swap here? Maybe Jeff wears a Brady jersey with a cutoff sweatshirt, a sweatshirt with cutoff sleeves, with a Brady jersey under that.
Yep.
Maybe
Never.
and
Never
takes a
in hell.
picture.
Never in the hell
Right.
of life
Right, and Lauren.
would I
gotta
allow
say
a
your
Brady
face
And
jersey
Lauren,
to
who's
touch
the
my
team you hate the most?
What's-
So
I don't
then
know
you
if
would
there's
have to put like a merino jersey on.
Oh, we can bet profile pictures. Can I get a month of a merino profile picture?
See, I don't know if there's a team that I hate. The Ravens are close, but
Okay, then you got to change your profile picture to Lamar Jackson because we already talked about this last week.
yeah.
Ray Lewis.
I was gonna say Ray Lewis is
Ray
the one
Lewis.
that makes
That was
me
more.
more
That was
angry.
more her time then.
Yeah, Ray Lewis. Oh,
That's what I'm saying. Ray Lewis is the one you got to do there, or Terrell Suggs, who played for 73
Oh.
years. Like, yeah. So I would definitely.
We can
put
discuss
that
this
profile.
bet further. It's not playoff time yet.
Yeah,
There's still
Yeah.
time for the Pats to collapse and be the 7th seed and go home early, and then I get to pick your profile picture.
I don't
I'm
know,
gonna-
man.
Thing, though, I feel like you still.
I don't
need to-
know, man. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna contact Samantha and ask her what I should change your profile picture to. Something that you despise that only she would know, and then I will change that to your profile picture.
Architects. I'm telling you,
Architects.
architects.
It's a work thing with her.
Change it. Change Fergs to Coach K. And
Oh,
he
Hell
might be
no!
good there.
Oh my God, you're trying to kill me. First Brady, now K.
Ian's
Look,
got something.
you know my affinity for Duke as well. So Ian, what is your question? Does he want to get on with that, or how did that come up? Ian looks like he has his hand raised. And Ferg, you're on mute for some reason, bro.
What Ian wants to say is that he wants to see Jeff singing in a dress.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I think we all like to see Jeff singing in a dress.
I already have.
You know
this
what
on
I got
the-
to witness firsthand. So do you remember last week when Ferg was talking about how he drafted a bunch of wide receivers all in a row and waited on his quarterback and tried to take, or running backs, and take a gamble? I was able to witness firsthand, and I asked him many times what the fuck he was doing. And he said he's just taking a gamble. So I would definitely like to see Ferg in a dress at a fantasy football draft, not singing.
Whoa, I like that.
So if we do the draft live or virtual, Ferg has to wear the dress of your choice during the draft. How about
Yes, and we do a lot. And we
Okay.
put them on the,
So
yep.
yeah.
I like
so and what would you do? What would you do during the draft for Ferg if you lost?
It's hard. I'll say this, and Samantha
What would
will
be?
think this is great. It's hard to embarrass me, so I got to think about it. I got to really think about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So whenever he gets back on, we'll talk to Ferg about that.
Okay.
Medea, that would be very, 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 very funny. All right. So Lauren, while Ferg is doing, let's talk about some waiver wire pickups. I don't know if you've had your eye on anybody waiver wire wise. But I want to talk about defense this week.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, this is good
so.
one.
Yeah, because Glennon. I mean, because we all know Daniel Jones isn't. And Glennon isn't playing. 90% chance Glennon isn't playing either. So then you have Jake Fromm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jake Fromm is going to be the starter for the Giants, and they're playing the Chargers. So the Chargers is one of the top 3, probably one of the top 2 pickups that you can have this week. Ferg, we have to talk to you about a new side of this bet. Oh, he's gone again. Okay, so the Chargers are a great pickup. Ian, of course you can get in the league, bro. So the Chargers are a great pickup. I love them. And Seattle. Seattle sucks, right? We can all agree. Seattle has sucked defensively. And that's a good one.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's a good one. Maybe that happen. Oh, a dress of Jeff's choice.
Oh, geez.
So maybe we can. We'll talk to Ferg when he comes back on. But okay, so we can both agree that Seattle sucks defensively, offensively. They're fucking terrible, right? But they're playing Houston this week. Okay, and Houston sucks worse than Seattle sucks. Houston is the lowest of the low in the NFL at the moment. So they are the number 1 fantasy pickup defensively this week. So do you have anything defensively or no? So do you think agent wise, waiver wire wise that you would you're looking at this week?
Chargers I picked up as my first pick. Their D. That's because the Giants suck and now it's just becoming worse. I wrote down a couple. So the Chargers situation with receivers right now just got crazy because you don't have Keenan Allen, you don't have Mike Williams.
Yep.
So I might, because I'm a big DFS person, so I might be putting using some of those cheap picks, put some of their wide receivers in there also.
Like
Logan
Guyton,
Thomas
having Guyton, picking up Guyton on.
Yeah. Especially for DFS, that'll be cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas is out, so I don't know if Ricky Seals is playing, but whoever ends up playing tight end down there.
Yeah, he is. He is. And it was announced today that Logan Thomas is out for the year. Not just 6 weeks. Not just a couple weeks. He's out for the year. So Ricky Seals-Jones is a good pick like that as well.
P. Ryan, and I'm saying this because Mixon's kind of hurt. Burrow's kind of hurt, so they got to have some. I'm wondering if P. Ryan's not a sneaky one to put in there because somebody's gonna have to take the snaps if both of them are hurt or just not 100%. Because they got to win.
That's definitely a dive. That's definitely a deep dive, but they have been running Mixon 30 times a game, so maybe they're seeing that they need to just give him a little respite every now and then. So I wouldn't disagree with that. So Ferg, we're talking about waiver wire pickups, man. We already talked about Seattle and LA Chargers defense. Lauren brings up Rick Jones. So what you got? Anybody that you're looking at?
I was on Seattle, like you said. I'm off Seattle though. I'm off Seattle after hearing Jamal Adams is gone for the year. I'm off of them because they're. It's
Who
not
cares, bro. They're playing the Texans, brother.
They're shitty though. How about this? How about we go? How about hot take for this? I take Houston over Seattle this week.
Are you serious?
Wow. Whoa!
That is ballsy, right?
Whoa! The Fighting Davis Millses.
This is not ESPN FS1 where we have to cater to Roger Goodell and all of those motherfuckers. I'm taking Houston over Seattle.
Ferg.
Ferg.
Can we do the draft pick, bro? Now? Don't fuck up our draft pick, man.
I'm telling you.
Leave it
alone.
Don't
trust Seattle.
Right,
Seattle is ass.
Okay. No, dude, they're garbage. Lauren and I were just talking about that. I started off as we can both agree Seattle is trash. They're fucking terrible, but they're playing Houston. Houston makes defenses look good every week, brother.
They are playing defenses that make them look good. But I sat down, I thought about this especially after I watched Houston cut their best linebacker again today. And I just had to think for myself, these dudes are making billions of dollars. There is a method. There is something else to this because they're going to get the number 1 or 2 pick. There's no quarterback to draft. You're not tanking that hard for a defensive end. Not somebody you're not going to be able to get.
They're taking.
anyway.
No, but they're taking him.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna take Hutchinson if he's around, maybe try
Or
to be the next
Thibodeau.
JJ,
One
be
of
the
the two.
next JJ. So I'm thinking maybe
Yep.
there's actually the guy that's coaching. Hear me out for a second. What is he, like 80 years old? He finally gets a coaching job.
Yes.
So I'm thinking
Yes.
he's not gonna blow his one head coaching shot on some bullshit going on. It's got to be something else to it, and maybe there just happens to be like a bunch of 5th, 6th round guys. He'd be like, you know what? Get out here on this fucking field. Maybe he gives them one of them Gipper speeches or like De Niro and Pacino, somebody in any given Sunday, and they just fucking run the goddamn Seahawks off the field. Plus, I fucking hate Russell Wilson anyway.
Champ.
So I'm fucking taking Houston this week over Seattle as my upset.
All right.
Wow.
Ferg takes Houston. I'm writing that down. I'm a fan,
Write it down.
You know. And
I know you are, and that is
did.
exactly why I threw it out there.
Yeah,
The world should know
Ferg.
you are a Texans fan.
Oh, you're killing me. Like, I don't even understand what you're doing here. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and lay it on him, Lauren. So Ferg, check this out.
Oh,
so this is the new punishment that Lauren that we have agreed on in your absence. You ready?
Okay.
So if you lose the bet, you wear a dress of Lauren's choice to draft. If it's virtual or in person. Okay. If Lauren loses, she also wears a dress of yours to draft, whether virtual or in person.
That strangely sounds like I'm taking the shit end of that stick, but in the fairness,
you're not, right?
I'm not, based on reasons we do not have to expound onto. That thing she's already told us. I'll take that fucking bet. You know what? Fuck it.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a great bet. That's a great bet. Write it down, everybody.
I'll take it.
Mark it 808.
I am never literally saying that I am not a team player.
Both.
What are we actually betting on? This is Pats? Are we back to the Pats?
The Patriots making the Super Bowl.
Winning the Super Bowl?
Pats making the Super Bowl.
Not winning, making.
No,
they just have to make the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they just have to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, you can't go back on it now. You knew that.
I thought it was win. I said Alabama quarterback's winning. But I'll take the make bet, too. That's how confident I am.
No.
Fuck the Patriots.
Yeah.
You're
a Dolphins fan. You got to say that, man.
Exactly. What kind of self-respecting child born in the 5'6" can't damn take the damn Patriots? No.
You got
no,
all right. So let's talk about this real quick. Anybody to type them in the chat as well. What fantasy questions, dilemmas? What are you looking at? What are you struggling with this week? Who are you wanting to play that you don't know? Is there a star that should be up here that's more down here this week, and somebody like Elijah Moore that you're trying to fit in your lineup? What's the questions out here today? Let's start with you two.
I have a question. I posed it to our chat with Lauren earlier, and it kind of fits every point that you just said. I have a team. It's a 2 QB league. But the old school in me would not allow me to draft 2 QBs first. So I still went really deep with the skill, and I tried to pick up some QBs I thought would just get me something, but they all ended up getting hurt. So I have a team that actually has running backs that are Najee Harris, Saquon, Zeke, Madison, and there is one other on that squad. Who's my other guy, Lauren? We talked about this earlier. I don't have that squad that I'm looking at.
So you're starting Madison in the first.
Madison, Najee, Zeke, Saquon, and just to throw him out there because I picked him off the waiver wire and he goddamn killed for me last week. Deontay Foreman. Even though McNichols may be coming back, so maybe we'll scratch him off. A team with Zeke and Saquon, you would feel like you should just be plug and play. Don't even worry about those 40 points. But no, because they're ass this year. So no, I have to play 3 of these 5 gentlemen I've named. Who are we playing?
I picked up.
Yeah. I mean, I think as difficult as that is, you're playing Najee Harris for sure. You're playing Alexander Madison for sure. And then
Now we're making a
then
flex
it's
decision on a Zeke or a Saquon. How did we sink that low? That is terrible.
All right. So let me ask you a question. Let's pose it this way: over under for Saquon, 80 total yards this week.
Ooh.
Now think, Mike Glennon isn't playing.
I heard
Daniel
Fromm was
Jones
playing.
isn't playing. Jake Fromm is the new quarterback. So 80 total yards for Saquon. Total.
To be
That's
fair
how you
to
make your
Jake,
decision, Ferg.
what if Jake is all right? So at once upon a time, for anybody who doesn't watch college football, Jake Fromm caused Justin Fields to transfer from Georgia to Ohio State. So at some point, there is a collection, a group of semi-competent coaches that said, this guy is better than Justin Fields. He's our starter. What if Jake Fromm gets in the game and he's 18 years from now, we're talking about him like Brady? What if he's just been bouncing around? Even not, what if he just has a Matt Flynn game? The one Matt Flynn game that gets him paid next year. What if he has one of those 400 or 500-yard games like Flynn had for Green Bay that one year?
Okay. So I wish the commission was on here
anybody.
Because
he's a Giants guy.
Well, look, I wish the commission was on here. What I'm going to say is very disrespectful. He plays for the Giants, Ferg.
Yes, yeah.
He doesn't play for the Patriots or Bill Belichick. Okay.
Yep.
Right. He doesn't play for Belichick. He plays for the fucking Giants. So let's not overreact to that.
Hey.
Like, hopefully not. I don't want to eat my words, but I will eat my words. I'm just gonna say Jake Fromm is not Tom Brady.
I just say,
what if he's
decent?
I'll just leave that there. So answer the question, Ferg. 80 total yards, yes or no?
80 total. Who are the Giants
total
playing?
Yards? They're playing the
Chargers.
It's not like the Chargers don't give up a ton of yards. They just score a lot.
80
they give
yards.
up yards.
I'll give him 80 total.
I give him 80.
Yeah.
80 total. Okay.
80
so
total
if he's
yards,
80 total, you can
45 yards rushing and 35 yards receiving and dump off passes.
All right. So then you can give him 12 points. So let me ask you a question. Who was and do you think Deonta Foreman is going to get more than 12 points?
Tennessee against Jackson. Is it Jacksonville? No, Tennessee is who this week? Is it Jacksonville?
Yeah, it's Jacksonville. So
it's
in Tennessee. No, it's in Jacksonville.
And
I like
McNichols
Foreman to get more than 12 points then.
So there's your answer. So then
what about Zeke?
Your Zeke and oh, please sit his ass on the fucking bench, bro. He's garbage.
Yeah. Zeke could get 27 yards rushing, and they'll donate 2 touchdowns to him. See, that's what scares me about Zeke. I don't think that Zeke will get any yards, but I think that Zeke,
bro.
Just because Dak's his bestest BFF in the whole world, would turn around and handle the ball from the 3-yard line 2 or 3 times. Yes, that I do believe would happen. So then you end up with Zeke with 10 carries for 38 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Dude, if Zeke's going to have a game, it's going to be 138 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I don't see Zeke
Zeke
100 yards in this year, ever again this year.
So as hard as it is from a fantasy football mind to sit Saquon and Zeke and play Foreman, Madsen, and Najee Harris. I mean, you got to play Najee Harris, bro. As soon as the PPR league, you got to play Najee Harris. He's a PPR beast. I don't care. He's averaging 2.8 yards per carry this year, but he's still like the number 4 running back in fantasy football because of his.
Does Najee? All right. So the only thing with Najee that worries me about Najee is the teams that we rely on Thursday night. Not being just the Thursday night thing. Yeah, something about turning around playing on Thursday night. I don't care what kind of shape you're in. Getting the hell beat out of you on Sunday, flying across country.
Minnesota's not great, man.
They're not. But
Minnesota's defense isn't great, bro.
When I think about football,
I think that
Thursday night football is the worst thing that ever happened.
Yeah,
in
I don't
NFL.
like Thursday night.
Thursday night football. I think about if you ever been in a car wreck, and then how you feel like 3 days later. That's how you feel playing on a Thursday night game. Why they play Thursday night games and then give us this bullshit about being safety conscious?
Dude,
is really a bunch of shit.
So the Cowboys are
Minnesota sucks.
Cowboys are playing.
They're playing the Redskins because I was looking at the Terry McLaurin argument too. But yeah, I didn't.
We were going to get to that. So in the last 6 weeks, the Washington football team's defense has been in the top 5 of the league, right? In the last 6 weeks.
Finally.
Prior to that, they were terrible. But since they lost Chase Young, they've been the defense that everybody thought they were going to be, which is super duper weird.
Crazy.
Now, the question about Terry McLaurin, Vanna, is a very, very tough one because weeks 1 through 8, he was wide receiver 7. Weeks 8 through now, he's wide receiver 75.
Is he really?
So, yeah. So it hasn't been a great run. It hasn't been a great run from McLaurin recently, but they're playing the Cowboys, and we all know if there's one rivalry in the NFL that the two teams hate each other the most, it's this one, right? So I would say that Heineke, without losing Logan Thomas for the year, Ricky Seals-Jones is not athletic. He doesn't run the same wide receiver kind of routes that Logan Thomas ran. You're probably going to see more in this game. So I would say I would have all confidence in playing with you.
So I'm like 5 minutes late between the comments, but Vanna, if you send me your Cash App, I will pay you for that picture of that Lauren in a dress. I just now scrolled up and saw that. I need that. We need that in our lives.
Yeah,
it's got to be a wedding.
Joe's the better quarterback.
Maybe like a piano recital or something like that. Is that what it is? Ballet recital? Is that what it is? Maybe.
Oh, she has that too.
Cotillion, something Vanna, like that.
Hey guys, look at what Vanna just said. This is a very interesting conversation, and Vanna, this is the same exact tutu.
I used to do ballet.
Ballet.
It's awful. Tap dance.
Oh, it's tutu. That's funny. All right, so Vanna, you're in the same predicament that Ferg is in here. He has the name over the person that has been more consistent. So Ferg needs to sit Saquon and Zeke, and in this situation, I think you need to sit McLaurin.
Really?
Because Hunter Renfrow has been. Is this a PPR league, Vanna?
He is money.
Is this a PPR league, Vanna? Let's ask that first. It is a PPR league. So if it's a PPR league, I mean, who are the Raiders? Who are the Raiders playing?
Who are they playing?
Raiders playing Kansas City. They're going to be throwing. They're playing Kansas City.
Cowboys.
Where is it at?
In KC at 1:00.
No, they're playing.
Oh, well,
I mean, I get why you're playing. So look, I would start Hunter Renfrow and not feel good about it at all. So that's my 2 cents. So I wouldn't feel good about that shit at all, but I'd start him. Right, because he's been a PPR machine, right?
But it's
this dude's gonna have 10 targets, 8 catches. No, they're playing the Raiders aren't playing Dallas, they're playing Kansas.
No, the Raiders are playing Kansas City.
Right,
the last time they played Kansas City,
but look
Kansas
what
City
happened.
ran them off the field.
Right,
so they're
and
gonna
the
have to
time
throw the
before
ball.
that they played Kansas City. But hold on, the time before that they played Kansas City last year, it was like 41-38 Raiders.
And it was, and so
right?
they're gonna throw the ball a ton.
They're always high scoring games, and that's what worries me about, like, is it in Dallas, Lauren?
Let me see.
What's in Dallas?
The
Washington.
The
Washington
Washington football team against. So if it's in Dallas, I'd have more faith in McLaurin than if it's in Washington because of weather and whatnot.
I think it's supposed to be nice here. So I'm actually going to be working that day.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be raining.
Is it
supposed to be raining, right?
Here? Oh, it is. No, you're right. It is because I was
going
to leave work early.
And it's supposed to be in the 70s, but it's supposed to be raining. So that's what I'm wondering about.
All right.
So I mean,
sense.
if it's
a run game.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, Hunter Renfrow is a PPR machine, Vanna. Don't listen to Lauren about this because you're playing her, so she's just going to give you bad advice.
What if it's sunny on Sunday, though? What if
it's sunny on Sunday?
Sunny? Yeah.
Okay.
Then you got to go.
I just could see Terry wanting to tear up some Dallas. Like that is just that's like Army Navy. Like they actually care about that.
Well, we talked about this last week, or maybe the week before, that despite the numbers that Dallas has, Dallas defense is real opportunistic. Between the 20s, they really get the ball jammed down their throat like a bottom level defense, and then somehow Diggs bails them out with the timely interception, or they're playing some other shitty piece of shit in the NFC East who throws a fumble, strip sack, some kind of bullshit that's been bailing them out. I really like Washington in this game.
No,
Okay,
I just
Lauren,
do. I like Washington in this game. Yeah, I don't
Lauren,
think
let me ask
Washington
you a
beats
question.
Dallas unless McLaurin has a big game.
So, Lauren, what is the points? What are the projected points for Renfro and McLaurin in that game? So, while you're looking at that, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go Hunter Renfro here, and he's gonna see somebody that's not Trayvon Diggs. So Jeff, your explanation of what you just said made me say Hunter Renfro because
they're the
McLaurin's
same.
all they got. McLaurin's all they got. Yes, Vanna said both 14. McLaurin's all they got. Trayvon Diggs is going to be focused on Micah Parsons isn't chasing around the tight end or getting after the quarterback. He's also going to be helping double a McLaurin because he's one of those guys that likes to either go to the sideline or come across the middle of the field. So I think you got to go Hunter Renfro here because he doesn't have Trayvon Diggs following him all game. He's going to have their probably second best corner, third best corner for the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be following Hunter Renfro. Hunter Renfro is just going to go sit down in the middle of the fucking field. He's going to wait for a 10, 12-yard little pass, and then he's going to score a cheap-ass touchdown. He's 8 for 75 and a touch. And I think that's better than Terry McLaurin this week. So I'd go Hunter Renfro for sure. After
and
Jeff's
argument.
Yeah, I think Ricky Seals-Jones is a great player.
Yeah. Any receiver that is being guarded by Anthony Brown should be started. I'm gonna just go with that. Anthony Brown gonna chase around Renfro. Give me Renfro for 17.
Yeah. So I'm as I said, 8 for 75 and a touch. So that's what 21 points.
That's what, 21
I'm good. I'm good.
I go 17.
I'm good with that. So I just think that as I said, for kudos to you for bringing up the Dallas defense. They haven't played a lot better lately. They are opportunistic, and Trayvon Diggs will be, I assume, trailing the only receiver that the Washington football team has.
So is this Lauren Vanna game a playoff game? Does this have playoff implications? Is this an important game?
I would assume
it does for me because this is my little sister. She's never played before, and she is entering the playoffs in the first. I have to beat her to try to get back into the playoffs. So yeah.
So if little sister can stomp out your dreams and hopes in your family league, is that what this is?
That would be great.
Yeah. And Aiden also.
Yeah, Vanna.
So Vanna, you have to come on next week if you stomp out Lauren's playoff life. You have to come on. You get 45 seconds. However long you want, you get the gloat. We're all about the little brother here. I am the little brother of the family. Although I'm large in size, I am the youngest, so I'm all about embarrassing all older siblings.
She knows no idea what she's doing either. It's bad. It's bad. It's been a bad year. But
that's the way it always is, Lauren. Look, it's like the NCAA tournament, right? So the people that don't know shit about college basketball always do the best in the NCAA tournament brackets. Everybody knows that. They pick for the colors or the mascots or the costumes. But so that shit bothers me. All right. So
Vanna is a true parent though, because I'm looking at her last comment. I'm motivated to lose just to stick it to my kids.
You are also watching.
I get that, Vanna.
This league is full of collusion, pettiness. I love this family. Vanna, I have been invited to play in this league next year, and I'm going to bring all my full pettiness as well. This league is woo.
I do have a question for you guys though, since we're talking about Lamar. What was your reaction at the end of that game when they go for 2?
loved it.
Like Tony Romo's
Joy.
ruling the universe at this point.
Joy.
I support it.
Pure joy.
I support it.
Pure joy.
I support it. Well, number one, they're 8-5 now. They were 8-4. They're 8-5 now. The Steelers are 6-5, so they still have a 2-game lead in the division. So they were like, you know what? Let's put our fucking foot on these dudes' throat, and if we can do it, let's just do it now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tie it home, win on the road. If you win, you have a 4-game lead. If you lose, you have a 2-game lead. Fucking put your damn foot on the pedal like Coach K does to folks, and just damn ruin their dreams. I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
I supported going for it. I didn't want Lamar to score any more points because I wanted to come on and talk shit about Taysom scoring more points than Lamar since we talked about it last week. But I supported it. I didn't support the reason that Harbaugh, the garbage reason he gave us about not having any more cornerbacks. So basically what you're telling us, if all your cornerbacks got hurt in the third quarter, you were just going to fucking quit playing. It just happens to be the end of the game. So now that's the easily excuse. I mean, let's just call it like it is. If he would have got on the podium and he would have said, I felt like we had a great play. Lamar threw a piss poor pass. We'll get him next time. I would have said that, you know what, Harbaugh, you're right. And I would shut the fuck up about it. But he gave us a bullshit ass excuse. I do believe you should go for 2. No one wants to play in though. Who fucking cares about overtime? What if they went into a tie? That would have been terrible. Nobody wants to see that.
I mean, it would have been
a terrible idea.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Who are the Bucks playing?
The Bills.
The
Bills.
The
Bills got to get a get back. They got to get right in Tampa Bay.
Where?
So weather should not be an issue.
Vanna. Look, I love the gumption here. Tom Brady's the number 1 fantasy quarterback. You play Tom Brady at home. There's no question about that in my mind. Ever. I love Lamar as much as it seems like you do. And I just pulled up his stats against Cleveland. So let's talk about this for a second, so we can talk about this Tom Brady thing.
Terrible.
Lamar Jackson has a passer rating in 7 career games. 7 career games versus the Browns. 96.8 passer rating, 1,267 yards, 11 touchdowns, 6 picks. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
However, in Cleveland this weekend, Vanna, pay attention to this. Cleveland this weekend, it is already showing there is a wind issue. Okay? So this turns into a very, very Taysom Hill Lamar Jackson performance.
Yeah.
Okay? This is a very 3 or 4 interceptions, 100 yards on the ground. If you want to beat Lauren, you go Brady. There is no question as far as stats go, as far as the way this season has gone. Brady's the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football. Period.
Vanna is torn between smacking Lauren in the face and embarrassing her children for an entire summer. I understand your conundrum. I look every day for pettiness to do to my own children. I understand it.
I think Vanna, you're good regardless. I don't think I have to beat her and then my best friend, but I think Vanna's number 1 right now. She doesn't matter what she does. She keeps her spot.
If we
Vanna, y'all are going to win.
And the Steelers, I won't be able to go to
Vanna,
work.
y'all are going to win. The Ravens will beat the Browns. Let's not get that twisted. Nick Chubb is going to go for 120, 1 or 2 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield is as good a quarterback right now as Ferg is, and Lamar Jackson will have 3 total yards. But Brady, you have to play. You cannot. This is the problem, Vanna. You can't lose with the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football on your bench. You can lose with Lamar on your bench. You cannot lose with the number 1 fantasy football, the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football. You cannot lose with him on your bench, right? So these are fantasy rules 1. If you lose with the quarterback on your bench, that's your fault.
My
you can't blame
kid
that
said
on
I
anybody
was an auto win. You should send those kids to bed. God damn it. Damn
Lord.
kids.
Lauren, you need to call your nephews.
I know, man. They're running around. Yeah, they're collusion. They're texting me, "Hey, it's okay if we trade guys as long as we split the money." I'm like, "Why are you telling me that, guys? Like that's admitting collusion in a text message."
No,
Vanna, we have a saying in our family when it comes to children: "Fuck them kids."
Fuck them.
That's the saying. Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. That's right.
Fuck them
hey,
kids.
look, y'all pay no bills.
You don't pay
we
no
love
bills.
you, shit, but y'all don't pay no bills.
Stomp on them.
Yeah.
You ruin their life any chance you can get.
Look, Ferg, if it helps, man, I know you have a teenager, right?
Yes. Several.
Right. So
older.
So from a parent of somebody that's about to not have a teenager in my house, we raise Layla with the fuck those kids mentality as well, and she is going to school to be a surgeon.
Whoa!
So it works, folks.
It works.
Yeah.
My oldest son was raised with the fuck them kids, and he makes
He's
more money than me and his mother put together. So
that's right.
Fuck them kids works. Stop calling them kids. Yeah, holding their hands and stuff.
Holy
no time out. Fuck them kids. Shut the hell up. Yeah, them kids.
So Vanna, I'm not gonna say that I'll wear a dress or anything. But I will give you a public apology if Brady does not outscore Lamar. However, as I said, you have to play Brady. He is you cannot leave the number one. So let me ask you a question, Vanna. Feel free to answer this. So if you were playing fantasy football in 2006, would you bench LaDainian Tomlinson for anybody? Name a player. It doesn't really matter.
About him.
You're not benching literally the greatest player in the history of fantasy football, Jerry Rice, LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk, Priest Holmes. You are not benching any of those guys. Brady is up there with those guys. Brady had 386 and 4 touchdowns last week. This is pretty par for the fucking course for Tom Brady. And it's pretty nuts that he's 73 years old. And he's out here 368 and 4 touchdowns. You have to play Brady, Vanna. And I'm sorry if Lamar Jackson scores more points. But as I said, you can lose with Lamar Jackson on your bench. You cannot lose with Tom Brady on your bench. Period. I don't know how you guys feel about that. But
I agree.
Like, you just can't. Okay. All right. I'm glad y'all agree. All right. So now that we have spent the last hour going back and forth about different things, let's talk a little bit about this Thursday night game, right? I know, Vanna. This is what I'm saying. It sucks. Like the choices you have to make. So, all right. So this week we got the Steelers and the Vikings. It's 40.5 point over under. It's a 3-point favorite for the Vikings. So 23-20, 24-20, whatever it may be here, 23-21. I think it's in Minnesota, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's in Minnesota. That's why they're favored. Justin Jefferson is so easy with this. You definitely start Justin Jefferson. You definitely start Kirk Cousins. You definitely start Madsen. And let me give you guys a little nugget. The Steelers fucking terrible against the tight end. Tyler Conklin is a great DFS play. He's a great fantasy play, a great DFS play. Yes, he may have 3 targets for 2 receptions, 15 yards, but he'll have 2 touchdowns. So just make sure that if you have him and if he's on your waiver wire and you have Darren Waller or you have maybe a Zach Ertz that's been struggling recently because Kyler threw the ball 15 times, like 9 times to DeAndre, then maybe Tyler Conklin is a good pivot. But other than that, Adam Thielen's not playing. I mean, do you stream like an Osgood? Do you pick up number 17 here from Minnesota? Yeah, so you're throwing him in like a flex play? Okay. Yep. All right. No, I know he's a U guy, Ferg. I know he's a U guy, and you guys just spent, we can talk about this offline. You guys just spent $30 million on your new head coach in many different facets of ways. So you paid his buyout from Oregon, you paid Manny Diaz's buyout, and you gave him $9 million to coach your team. So it's going to be an interesting You're on mute, Ferg. You're on mute, Ferg. We can't hear you.
Paid 30. We paid $30 million for his rich ass cousin. Will spend $450 million and buy us a new stadium. That's what we really paid the $30 million for.
I get it. I get it. And we can definitely talk about that offline. Abigail, I don't know what VOY means. So maybe Lauren does.
Information. Is that a family thing?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if I know Abigail.
Can we acknowledge?
Yeah, so I don't know what VOY means, Abigail. John Harbaugh?
Joe Harbaugh. Is that the daddy? I don't know.
I think if you mean, John Harbaugh sucks.
What are you talking about, Michigan?
Have I gotten to the point where I don't know slang anymore? What is RBF?
Yeah, I guess that's.
Let me call one of my kids and ask them what fuck RBF.
That's like one of those
VOY and RBF. Yeah, I'm out on that. All right.
Not a good coach.
So let's talk about. So we pretty much know who are playing on the Viking side, right? So Kirk Cousins a yes, Madsen's a yes, Jefferson's a hell yes, Conklin's a yes. So that's where that ends. So what do you do if you're on the Steelers side besides Najee Harris? Najee Harris,
Deontay Johnson.
He's in the court.
Deontay Johnson before you start Harris.
Play Deontay. After that, Harris is number 4 running back, bro. You can't not start Harris.
I'm just saying, there's no way in no possible lineup on earth that I'm ever sitting Deontay Johnson in a PPR league.
No, I get that.
It's fucking 14 targets a fucking game. Yeah. And Ben has a noodle.
I get that.
So just like Conklin, I'm gonna go with Freiermuth if you have a Waller issue or Ertz issue. After that, not really a shootout, but I mean, the thing, these Thursday night games. You gotta kind of pick and choose. I'm always gonna go Johnson. I would say Johnson, Harris, Freiermuth. Everybody else, I'm off. I don't want any parts.
Yeah,
so no Claypool.
I know.
Not if I have unless I'm down to like playing between him and, even though I love him, Tim Patrick or somebody like that. But I'm not down. But we're desperate.
Tim Patrick hate continues.
No, I am the Tim Patrick vice president of the Fran Patrick fan club. We have been screaming Tim Patrick all year.
You and
so
Tim
no.
It's like a bromance.
Well, hold on. Why?
I mean, I would
Lauren,
play him. I would play.
You watch the past shows.
Yes,
you watch the past shows, Lauren. Why does Tim Patrick not good in fantasy? Because nobody has him. Because why?
Because he sucks, but Jeff's got this like Tim Patrick bromance. He's Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick's good.
Tim Patrick.
It's like
every
Lauren,
week we go through this fantasy league.
Let's talk about this for a second, Ferg. We've had this conversation before on this show. Tim Patrick is not good for fantasy because his name is Tim Patrick. Patrick
that's what it is.
Scores 12 points a game.
He
scores 12 points a game, but his name is Tim fucking Patrick.
Okay. Well, okay,
right?
So those 12 points a game are going to also be better than any Jets receiver this week. Any of those garbage ass replacements that you're trying to look for to replace Tennessee receivers. Elijah Moore's hurt. He's hurting too.
Dude,
Corey Davis is gone and Elijah Moore's hurting. He's playing, but he's hurting.
Corey Davis is on the IR. Elijah Moore is going to play. He'll be fine. He's 20 points a game.
The Saints lost another defensive guy. Who was it? It's not Lattimore, but
who, the Jets?
I thought they lost somebody else. The Saints did. They lost another couple.
I don't know.
In the majority of most fantasy leagues, how many starting wide receivers do you have on your team?
2.
I have a lot.
3 to 4?
2 in a flex.
2 in a flex, maybe?
No, just 2 in a flex. 2 in a flex.
So, three receivers generally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So based on the bye week, in the league that Lauren and I play on, Tim Patrick is wide receiver number 39. That's playing with fucking Teddy Two Gloves and Drew Lock. So I'm just saying, you can do worse than having to play Tim Patrick. I don't trust Claypool. Plus, he's hurting. Steelers aren't really big on goddamn throwing a whole lot of injury stuff out.
All right,
but
Claypool gets more points this week than Patrick.
Plus, Claypool runs deep routes and Ben can throw the ball further than my goddamn mama. So
no way. I don't agree. I'll make a side bet with you on that, Lauren.
That what?
I'll make a side bet with you on that. that Tim Patrick gets more points or Claypool gets more points than Tim Patrick. I say the opposite.
Really? Okay.
I say that opposite as well.
All right, I'll take that.
You're gonna
all right. I don't know. I don't know what we're betting. Maybe
Lauren.
just pride. Yeah.
Tim Pat.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. It's just a hate. It's just a hate on the name. All right. So, week 14 buys. Let's see. We got Colts, Dolphins, Pats, Eagles.
No JT.
So you're talking about wide receivers here. You're
Waddle.
talking about You're talking right. You're talking about the Pittman for Indianapolis. Talking Jalen Waddle and Gesicki for Miami. You're in Kendrick Bourne and Jacoby Myers for New England, and then Devontae Smith, and you can't really say anybody else besides Dallas Goedert on that team. So that's where you got to end with the bye weeks. And do not forget, you guys, take your Thursday night people out of your flex. Put them in your lineup, your regular lineup. Leave that flex just in case there's some Thursday or Friday practice injuries that you do not account for during the week. So we've been on here an hour and 10 minutes. You guys got anything else that you want to bring up? Anything we haven't talked about, Ferg?
No,
any questions we haven't answered?
We gotta go, or we're gonna have to start paying our super producer in the background. So we gotta
go home. And I'm gonna go finish episode 2 of Man in the Arena, because I'm very interested in how all of this works out. Ferg, I know you don't want to watch it, bro, but it's very interesting.
We've been watching it for 20 years. Just watch ESPN.
I know.
Gobble on Brady's balls every week. Well, I got to go back and watch a mini series about it too. God damn.
Oh yeah. Is his wife in it?
Is his wife in it? That's what I'm saying. Is his wife in it? Then I'll watch.
But she has to be like modeling some bikinis.
She has to be commentating and showing, like a FaceTime.
I haven't seen Giselle. I haven't seen Giselle yet. So Ferg, I will say this though, bro. You and me need, because Lauren, I don't know if you watch college basketball.
I don't.
But Ferg, you and me need to have a conversation about what ESPN did on Sunday to our targets.
They suck ass.
Bro, I've never been so fucking heated. I've never been so fucking heated in my life. And then these motherfuckers give the worst explanation in the history of sports. So we can talk about that offline. This is not a college basketball show. However, Carolina did win those games. And we can transition, Ferg. Don't get me started, bro. We can transition into college basketball, but we do have a lot of off-season stuff to talk about with football. Always, right? Always something to talk about. But college basketball does get it from the end of the season to the draft. So maybe we can sneak in some college basketball, make this a sports show between mid-February to late April. So anything else from you guys? You guys have anything else you want to talk about?
No, good.
Nope, we've paid the bills today. We'll come back next week and talk some more.
Well, I'm going to go eat.
I'm going to bed.
Again, it has been sponsored by Phoenix Therapy and Wellness, 500 Benson Road in Garner. If you have any questions about it, hit up Ferg or just Google it and call him yourself. So if for Clint, Champ, Ferg, Lauren, we'll all see you next week. Good luck on your fantasy football team, fantasy football week to your shitty teams. Peace.